strip clubs, you know about the strip clubs, but nobody really knows about Vietnamese coffee shops.
What were these offers?
Like, just to be their sugar baby, like go out with them.
But like how much were they offering you?
I think I've been offered like 2,000, 5,000, like weekly or like monthly. He wanted me to be his dominatrix. He was like, I will pay you like 5,000 a session to degrade me and spit on me. I've seen these girls like lose the light in their eyes. Like it's so crazy. Like, you know, like you look at them, they just kind of look like dead, gone. You know, like they're just like kind of like surviving. They're not really living anymore. And it's like I know those eyes because like I've been through that. Like I knew what it was like to just be surviving and not really living. One thing like everybody gonna keep telling you is like when you're in this industry, save your money.
Right.
Because girls, they'll blow it on bags, purses, clothes. You know, I'm looking like in the long run because I know my time is gonna expire in this industry. Make your money work for you. Don't work for it. I'd rather learn what I want to learn than have to sit there and be forced to learn what I don't need to learn for like a piece of paper.
Education system is not particularly made for entrepreneurs. So
exactly.
That's, you know, if you're trying to do something very specific, engineering, becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, then the school system is, you know, the right place for you. But aside from that, anything else, you have a better chance of learning those things in real life, doing day-to-day work than going to school for it. What is your body count?
10.
Okay.
11.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us and hope you continue to be a part of our family for the foreseeable future. And if so, please hit that subscribe button. I am Mohammed Malai here with our amazing guest of the day, Maria. How's it going?
I'm good. How are
Welcome.
you? Thank you.
Please introduce yourself, where you're from, how old you are, what you do, so on and so forth.
Okay, I'm Maria Nguyen. I'm 21. I just moved to LA from Riverside. I was born in San Bernardino. And wait, what was I supposed to do?
How old you are?
Yeah, I'm 21. And then
what do you do?
I am a bikini barista.
A bikini barista?
Yeah.
What is that?
So pretty much, I work out in Orange County, and you can only really find these in Orange County or up in San Jose. And we're known as the Vietnamese coffee shops, but we're a little more than just a coffee shop.
Okay.
So I wear a bikini or like lingerie, and then we're like, I want to say we're like one level below strippers, because, you know, it gets fun in there. I don't know how much I can say because I don't know how much is
You could say whatever you
legal.
want to say.
But I mean, it's fun. So our job is to entertain customers, make sure they're having a good time, bring their drinks, and then like we get tipped. So it's the tipping industry. So entertainment, tipping, that whole industry. And we're open from like 7 a.m. till 11 p.m. and then weekends we're open till midnight. So we're not open like after hours clubs like that. But people still come like 7 in the morning, and then they get like lap dances and get coffee before work, and then they head on to work. And it's a lot of people, it blows a lot of people's minds because they don't see anything. Like you think LA would have them, but they don't, because it only really exists around the Vietnamese community. Because technically like having like two things in one is not legal. But because we're in the location that we're in, Orange County, and it's a predominant like Vietnamese community, they kind of let it slide because that's their like leisure and entertainment. So like cops will come in, but as long as the girls aren't naked doing dances or like they don't like see any like drugs, then like they'll clear it. And then they'll go on about their day. But like I've heard of some that got raided and like shut down, and like girls have gotten like ticketed and like fined, and like it's like a whole fiasco. Like I know that some girls that like are on like this registered sex offenders list just for having their tits out at work. Because it's part of the job.
Right.
But it's not legal what we do. But it passes the rules for the health inspection and whoever comes into like
the city code.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. And it's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But pretty much that's essentially what I do. And then I model as well. So I'm out in LA. I do like photo shoots, music videos, and whatever else I feel like I'm like would be like a good position for me to be in, like to build my portfolio or my skills. Just because like there's like certain like things I want to do, like with like photographers. Like I feel like on my Instagram now, like I'm like very like IG baddie, but I've always like wanted to like get more into like creative and like fashion and editorial. And so that's like why I moved out here, and then just try to like figure out how to get to that next step in my career.
So you currently live in LA?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you commute to Orange County for this. Okay. So, and you're a dancer, or you're just I'm a waitress?
Yeah. So pretty much our job title that when we apply is like a barista position. Or like
you
a
serve
waitress.
coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, so like, and then there's like different cafes where the girls have to make the drinks, but at mine there's a kitchen lady in the back that makes the drinks for us, and so we just have to bring it out. Yeah, so that way like the drinks can taste the same, have the same consistency, because every girl that makes it a little differently. Like, because I worked at different ones, and there's like a bunch of them, just all in like the Garden Grove area specifically. Like out there's some in Anaheim. And then there's a couple up in San Jose, up in the Bay Area.
And so most of the clientele is Vietnamese?
Yeah, I like to say like Vietnamese, white, and like Hispanic. Like that's like the top 3 that I see when I go in there. But every now and then we have like Middle Eastern, we have like African American, and then Black. Because I know those are 2 different things, you know?
Not very many whites.
A lot of whites. Because we're in Orange County. Like, we're, like, connected to, like, Mission Viejo, Irvine, like, all that. Like, the beach cities, pretty much.
Right.
And, you know, that's where the rich men, they live by the beach, you know? And they'll make the 15, 20-minute drive. I'm like, oh, like, are you live locally? Or, like, oh, I'm from Long Beach. Or, like, some people come from L.A., out of state, just to come there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because, like, it's a very low-key thing. Like, strip clubs, you know about the strip clubs, but nobody really knows about Vietnamese coffee shops. And it's a trip for people every time they come in here. They're like, oh, I just saw this on Yelp. I didn't expect there to be naked girls in here, or, like, half-naked girls in here. And I'm just like, welcome, sun's out, buns out.
So they come and they order coffee.
Yeah.
And then they ask for lap dances.
Yeah, or we bring it up. Because there's a lot of we even have regular people that come in there, like people that come in like 3 times a week, every day, multiple times throughout the day. Like you never really know. And then because we're also a coffee shop, people bring their laptops and get their work done. They're just like, yeah, I could work at home or at Starbucks, but this is better because you get eye candy and then you get some work done. Like it's like.
Well, that's assuming you could actually get work done.
Yeah, I mean, some people they don't mind the naked girls. They're just like, I'll reward myself with a lap dance after.
Better than looking at a wall.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. And then like we play like hip hop music, so it's like what Cardi B, Drake, Future. Like we play like mainstream like hip hop. Like it's not a cafe you go in and you're just gonna be listening to like Vietnamese music. Like we play from like hip hop to like EDM, like because like we're allowed to control the music, like we're technically the DJs in there, and then like we'll like choose our song that we want to dance to, like when customers want to dance from us, and then we'll just like go crazy, you know, our little like 2-3 minute song, and then it'll like shuffle play to like whatever is like similar to the songs because we use Spotify. And so it's cool. And plus, like, a lot of strippers, like, in the industry, like, they come to the coffee shops and they tell it, like, I've heard both sides. Like, we have it easier or, like, we have it, like, harder. But what I've heard, like, consistently is, like, coffee shop, like, we can make good money like strippers. But at the same time, like, compared to, like, some strippers, especially if you're a stripper in the main club, like, I've heard strippers where they make, like, 3,000, 5,000, like, it's just crazy numbers, you know. And I've never touched that personally in the coffee shop, but I've touched like over 1,000 in like a shift, you know. And like if you build like relationships with your customers, like you could find a sugar daddy in there. Honestly, I've gotten some like
Offers.
people, some offers, and I'm just like, what? You know, like it's
What were these offers?
like just to be their sugar baby, like go out with them.
But like how much were they offering you?
I think I've been offered like 2,000, 5,000, like weekly or like monthly, like around.
Did you say
there.
yes or no?
I said no.
Why?
Because I know I have to give them some sugar, and I'm not trying to do that.
Oh, interesting.
And there was this one crazy thing. I met a customer, and he was into that whole like dominatrix thing. He wanted me to be his dominatrix. He was like, I will pay you like 5,000 a session to degrade me and spit on me and like just like slap him in the face.
Holy shit.
And no, like there was this one time, and I know he was serious, because when he came to the cafe, he was like, oh, like, can we go to the car and do it? Like, I'll give you a tip. And I was like iffy at first, because I'm like, going in his car, like I'm gonna be out the safety of my like cafe shop, and then I'm gonna go in this stranger's car, you know. I was like, what about if I bring my friend and we could both do it to you? So we settled on that. Me and my homegirl went to the car, and then we set a timer for, I think it was like 5 minutes or something, and we were just taking turns like spitting on him. Like I was like grabbing his head, I'd spit on him, slap his face, turn his head, and then she'd slap him, spit his face. It was like constant. Like he really just like wanted to like get degraded by us. And he's like, I want to be your like he was blowing up my phone. Like I had to like block him.
You blocked him?
He was blowing up my phone. He was like, I just want to be your personal sex slave. I'll wash your car for you, clean your house, I'll like spoil you, just degrade me and teach me how, or like treat me how you want to treat me. And he was like looking for me to like wear a strap and like peg him. And that's why I was like that's an easy come up, 5 bands, but I'm like, morally, like how am I gonna take it morally? You know, like I mean, like I feel like in the moment, like I was like, yeah, this sounds like a lot of fun. This is the time I can really like make a man my bitch. But I was just like, I'm a sweet girl. Like, I don't know. Like, even just like spitting on his face and like I just felt guilty. Like, I felt bad. Like, I know he wanted it.
Right.
But I'm just like, this is
it's
not me.
Who you are. Yeah.
But at the same time, it felt really empowering. And I think that's like the side of like dominatrix that makes like people enjoy that type of work. They like the power that they hold. Because in the relationship, like he wanted to be fully submissive to me. Like whatever I say goes. Whatever I do, he can't talk back to me. Like it was really that type of thing. And like I've looked into like that whole like industry before, and like there's always like different levels and like different boundaries and stuff like that. And I'm just like, if I touch into this lifestyle, like how deep am I gonna get? You know, because like just being in the coffee shop industry, like I think people like see like the lifestyle I live and like how comfortable I'm able to live. They glamorize it, and like it's my fault too for like glamorizing and only showing the good parts. But I'm also very like transparent about like the not so good parts. You know, like girls in this industry, like I've heard them get killed, assaulted, like wow. You know, it's just dangerous, like as in being in the like the sex work industry, like when, you know, like we are technically like sex workers. Like whatever a girl does, like I know there's some girls that don't do extra services, and then there's girls that do extra services, and it just depends on like their mentality and like their hustle, you know, because I know girls that can like, you know, like do meetups and like not trip about it, or like they're desensitized to like where it won't affect them like as hard as somebody who's just gotten into sex work for the first time. You know, like people have been doing this for like years, like almost decades even, I've heard. And so they're just at a point where they can like compartmentalize their emotions separately from work and private, you know. And like I try my best to like compartmentalize it and separate my private life from my work life. Like, I have customers that are my regulars, but they know I don't do meetups. I don't build friendships with my clients, like, outside of work. Like, I try not to do that. Like, I just keep it inside the coffee shop. And, like, just standing, like, firm on those boundaries. Like, luckily, like, my customers, like, they're respectful of those boundaries. Because, like, you know, like, working in this industry, you're going to obviously attract, like, not the best men. But there's some that still, like, have respect for us. And then there's men that just don't at all, you know. Like, we pretty much, like, we get paid a lot more than just a regular Starbucks worker. But, like, just, like, the mental, like, turmoil that we go home after, you know, like, people come in there with their pockets full. They know to bring cash for us, and they leave with their pockets empty, but they're fulfilled. We leave with our pockets full because we just took their money, but, like, inside we feel empty. Like, it's that exchange, you know. And it's like, I've seen girls, like, that have started in the same time as me in the industry, or, like, came in, like, as, like, a newbie, and I've just seen, like, their eyes specifically. Like, you know, like, eyes are, like, the portals to the soul. I just, like, I've seen these girls, like, lose the light in their eyes. Like, it's so crazy. Like, you know, like, you look at them, they just kind of look like dead, gone, you know, like, they're just, like, kind of, like, surviving. They're not really living anymore. And it's like, I know those eyes because, like, I've been through that. Like, I knew what it was like to just be surviving and not really living, you know. And it's crazy because it's like, I'm stuck in this lifestyle now. Like, I told myself I was going to use it to, like, push me, elevate me in life. And it has. Like, I'm where I'm at now because of, like, what I do. Like, I'm able to afford everything I want in life. But it's like, after you touch that type of fast money, people can't imagine going back to a regular job. People can't imagine doing, like, an office job. People dread it because they're so used to that money. But being in this industry, like, there's an expiration date. Once you get too old, once you start, like, looking a certain way, you can't keep being here anymore, you know, like, because, like, this industry, like, they want, like, exotic girls. Like, all the girls in there, they look exotic. At least at, like, the hottest coffee shops, they have the prettiest girls. Like, I've seen other coffee shops, and I mean, I'm not gonna talk bad about them because
mix and match.
Everybody has their own preference.
Sure.
But just compared to, like, the clientele, and then to, like, the girls, like, you can see which one, like, is a good one, and then which one's not. And then just, like, the amount of customers, like, I talk to all my customers just, like, about the other coffee shops, about the other girls, like, who their favorites are, and, like, which club or coffee shop they frequent the most, because a lot of them, they coffee hop, like guys going to multiple strip clubs in a night. It's guys going to multiple coffee shops in the night,
trying to see where it's at,
you know. Yeah. And so it's like, they be telling me everything from, like, the drama to, like, the history, and then, like, everything. Like, I've heard it all, honestly. And then it's like the stuff that I keep finding out, I'm just like, sometimes it's surprising, sometimes it doesn't even really surprise me that much anymore, you know. And then, like, but, like, another thing is, like, I've also learned how to, like, utilize my position in, like, a good way, because I'm around, like, entrepreneurs, people in, like, good businesses, have their own business, or, like, they're just rich, and I go in there and, like, yeah, I'm trying to entertain them, but I'm also, like, trying to pick their brain to see how they got so successful where they're at, you know. Like, I'm 21 right now, so it's like, I'm not getting any younger. Like, I have officially reached adulthood, and I, you know, like, I'm peaking right now, so it's like, I'm trying to, like, pick the brains of these men that come in here just to, like, understand, like, gain a little financial literacy, or just a life lesson I can learn without having to go through the hard part of it, you know. And it's like, I've gotten good advice, you know. Like, I work those morning shifts. It'll be customers that come in, they're, like, looking on, like, a website. They're like, oh yeah, I'm trying to buy another plane. It's my hobby. I'm looking at it with him, helping him choose. It's like $500, $600, $700,000 planes, and he does it as a hobby. And I'm just like, what, it's like, this is who I want to pick my brain or pick his brain. Like, I want to learn, like, how could he, like, set himself up financially? Because one thing, like, everybody gonna keep telling you is, like, when you're in this industry, save your money.
Right.
Because girls, they'll blow it on bags, purses, clothes. Like, I'm looking, like, in the long run, because I know my time is gonna expire in this industry. Like, I don't even want to stay till my expiration date. Like, the faster I can get out, the better. Because, like, I have, like, something I want to do in life. Like, or I have a good picture. Not a clear picture, but a good picture. And, like, I just want to make sure, like, I'm not letting it go to waste, like, because I feel the trauma. Like, I feel the heaviness in, like, my spirit, like, I know this job is gonna, like, ruin me in the long run the longer I stay. So it's like, now it's like, I need to, like, figure out how to flip this money, invest this money, so I can make more money. Like, rich people are going to tell you, make your money work for you. Don't work for it. And so that's where I'm at in life right now. I'm just picking at these entrepreneurs' brains. And it's like, they've taught me so much. Like, I'm, like, learning how to do my taxes this year. I'm learning about, like, index funds. Like, they're telling me about, like, crypto. I mean, if I wanted to start betting on parlays, and, like, they could teach me too. Like, it's a whole lot of people that come in there to watch sports because we have it on, and they're always watching the screen making bets. Motherfuckers going, they're like, there's some people that are down like 30 bands or up like 50 bands just making these bets. I'm like, teach me, and because I'm a girl, they'll just be like, yeah, they'll be more open to teaching me, and it's just like, it's a whole, like, different world. And it's just like, we have, like, private parties, and we have, like, the regular coffee shop hours, like, and it's like, it's been around for a long time too. And it's like, you think it was in my culture, like, I would find out about it sooner, but I only found out about, like, the coffee shops about, like, a year ago.
Oh, wow. And
it's like a whole different world. And people ask me, like, would you ever be a stripper, go in the club? And I'm just like, I don't know if I could do that. Because I found where they like me, small, petite, Asian. Like, I'm definitely one of the favorites there. Sure. I feel like, because I'm just their type. So it's better for me. I don't think I could go in the club and start just being in competition with the other girls. I'm small. I'll never last in there, and that's another thing. Like, people that have told me, like, there was just so much hostility, so much just, like, they were so territorial. Another, like, the cafes, like, depending on which one you go to, it might be different. But personally, the one I worked at now, because, like, I don't get any hostility from any of the other girls, or, like, any, like, animosity from them. It's made, like, the work environment, like, really positive for me. Like, even though, like, the men are, like, constantly, like, touching us and just, like, talking our head off, like, I feel like the girls in my job, we have each other's backs, and then I always tell, like, the new girls, or, like, girls I work with, like, if you need anybody to talk to, if you need anything, call me, text me, just because, like, we really just have to, like, look out for each other. Especially, like, these girls have, like, worked longer than me, or about, like, the same amount of, like, months as me. But it's like, everybody has a different story when going in there. Like, honestly, like, I was living good at home. Like, I wasn't, but I knew, like, I wanted more out of myself. And so, like, I went into that industry. But there's girls in there that had to, like, fend for survival. Like, they had to come up with rent to, like, find, like, an apartment to live in, or they're going to be homeless, or, like, whatever their story is. Like, everybody has a different story. And it's like, I'm like, not one to judge anybody in there, because we're all, like, after the same thing, money. Yeah. And then there's the girls that are hostile, territorial, don't want you to make money from their customer. But then there's girls that'll call you over. Like, I'm, like, one of them. If I sit at a table, they don't like me, but they like another one of my coworkers, I'll be like, oh, what's your name? Or, like, what does she look like? I'll call her over for you, It's like, it's the support that helps, like, all of us make money, and it's been fun, honestly. Even now I'm thinking, I'm like, what job can I work that'll make me good money like this, or if not more? You know, because I dropped out of college. I'm just like, what? I didn't even know what I wanted to study for in college, and that's why I dropped out. I'm just like, kind of like floating around life, seeing where I make it.
Was your family paying for college?
They were a little bit, but I was also paying on my own because I was working too. So it's like, and I was only working part-time. I wasn't making much because I was at a minimum wage job. So whatever money like I was short, they would help me out with it because I was in community college, and I graduated high school early at 16 by taking the CHESP test or exam or whatever. So I was able to graduate a year early. And with like that, like one of the requirements is you go to a community college for 2 years before you transfer into a 4-year. So it didn't delay like my education or anything by like graduating early, but I never finished either because I dropped out of college. But yeah, and like I wouldn't say I'm like stupid or anything. Like I feel like just other people teaching me, and then like me like reading up on what I actually want to learn, because I'd rather learn what I want to learn than have to sit there and be forced to learn what I don't need to learn for like a piece of paper. You know, like I don't even use Pythagorean theorem in real life, so it's like
not very many people do.
You know, so it's just like I like learning, I like educating myself, but on what I want to learn about, you know. Because it's good to have knowledge on everything, but I don't know. I can't sit there and just learn chemistry just for the sake of it.
I mean, the education system is not particularly made for entrepreneurs. So
exactly.
That's, you know, if you're trying to do something very specific, engineering, becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, then the school system is, you know, the right place for you. But aside from that, anything else, you have a better chance of learning those things in real life, doing day-to-day work than going to school for it. Yeah. So I know a lot of people who, you know, I talk to and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? They're like, oh, I'm going to college, I'm going to school. And what are you going, you know, marketing, business? And I'm like, that's the wrong place to waste your money in. Yeah. You know?
And it's like, I feel like now, this generation, they're encouraging people to go to trade schools, whereas like college, you know, actually learn something like towards your like niche or like your whatever you're going for. Like I went to a trade school too. Like after I dropped out of college, I went to beauty school after I got my license to be an esthetician.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm a licensed esthetician, but I kind of never really did anything with it because I just kind of like fell out of that career. Right. Like I fell out of a lot of careers. Just
is that right?
Yeah, like I used to have my life insurance agent license, so I was like pretty much what was the word?
A broker.
Yeah, or no, I was an independent contractor because I wasn't directly with like any companies yet.
Yeah, it's a broker.
And yeah, so like my mom, she wanted me to go into that because before she passed, that's what she was doing. You know, like my family, they came up from like the nail shops. Like all we knew was a nail shop. Like even my family now, but it's like, and then like going into esthetician, I was like, oh yeah, I'm taking like a little different approach, but I could still be around my family because in the nail shop you have the esthetician and then the nail technicians. Right. So for a little bit of the time I was working with them, but in like where we were at, like back at home in Moreno Valley, it's hard to build like clientele out there, and it's like nails and lashes were more important than their skin. Like out here, I could have probably built like a little bit more of like a client list, but also like it's just so much competition as well. You know, and then kind of like going into coffee, I didn't want to go back to a regular job and figuring that out. But honestly, like after like living through coffee for a year, I'm just like, I'm ready for my next step. Like, And so I want to be calculative, like, and strategic this time around. Like, I don't want to just like put like my efforts into something just to get bored of it and then like go on to the next. Like, I've completed so many side quests. Like, I'm ready for the main quest. You know.
Interesting. So you said some of these girls have some crazy stories. What are some of those stories that have happened that I guess people you're friends with or stuff that you've heard?
Yeah, so like, I mean, I've heard like back in the day, so before I worked at my coffee shop now, I was working at the original one, and that original one is called Cafe Lou. They were notorious. They're the ones that started it all, like the trends now. Like,
oh, interesting.
All these other coffee shops, they didn't match up to them back in the day, because they had private parties and just like a whole bunch of stuff. And allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, I guess like back in the day, they used to pay for the girls' boob jobs.
Oh wow!
Like all the girls, the OG girls, they're paid for their boob jobs. And I don't know how true this is. So, but I heard like they would make them work the private parties to pay off the amount, the price of the boob job.
Yeah.
So these girls were doing like the private part, and I heard the private parties were crazy. They had like naked sushi models. They would bring in a pole, and all the customers, they wanted to be there. Whether it was like a Monday night or a Friday night, it was a full house regardless. Like, it was always packed, and like you couldn't even get anywhere to sit. And I heard like back in the day, those girls were making $4,000, $5,000. You know, like they were like getting paid like what the strippers got paid.
Oh, wow.
Like now with inflation and everything, they got a little cheap with us. But back in the day, I feel like back in the day before inflation really got bad, everybody was just spending a boatload of money on whatever, strippers, coffee workers, bottle service. Like, just they were just living like the dream that everybody on like social media is faking to live now. Because you hear about like all the influencers that like they're flexing all these like nice things, but they're rentals, or like they're going in debt to flex this lifestyle off, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like people lived like that back in the day and before social media. So it's not like you could really even flex. I mean, you could flex on Facebook. That was like the biggest thing of their time.
Right.
But they would have like yacht parties and like, what else? I've heard it all. Like, they'd have like penthouse party. Like, it was
Why would a girl
fiasco.
do this instead of stripping? And I know you said your reasoning, but it seems like some of these other girls are as, you know, and morally corrupt as you know, somebody who would be a stripper.
Because I hear in the strip club, like, another thing is the tax. Because like every time we do a dance, we give like pay like a little house fee, and then at the end of the night we pay a house fee. And then every coffee shop's different, because there's some coffee shops that will pay you hourly on top of the tips you make. Like the first one I worked, it was like that, and I got to keep all my tips. I didn't have to tip out to anybody. This one I work at now, I kind of have to tip out to people, but even that, it doesn't compare to the strip club. The strip club, you have to tip out the DJ, kitchen, bartenders, security, manager. Like, it's you know, like you have to tip so much, and if you're not making that much in a night, a good amount of it's gone. At the end of the night, we tip. It varies between $5 to $20, depending on how bad the tip jar is. Because we also have a tip jar at the front, and any customers that leave the tip on the table, that automatically goes to the kitchen. But any tips that we get handed directly, that's us. So at the end of the night, or like at the end of the morning shift, whatever shift we get, we tip out what is short in that tip jar, divided by the how many girls are on shift. So that's why the price can always vary between like how much we pay at the end of the night. And so like we don't have to tip security, we don't have to tip a bartender or like manager or anything like that. Like it's a lot less. And like it's done out in the open. We don't have private rooms, so we don't do extra services, or I don't do extra services.
Well, you said some of the girls do.
Yeah, and usually that's when you go home with the customer or leave with the customer or like schedule.
And that's
like,
common.
I would say so. I mean, I don't think the girls will like openly talk about like what they do,
right?
You know, after hours or anything. And I find stuff out just finding it out. You're not friends. You know, I'm not nosy. Like I'm not like asking everybody. Like,
but you're not friends with these girls.
I'm cordial with everybody. I'm acquainted.
But you're
with
not
everybody.
friends.
I feel like there's a difference between like a real friend and the work friends. They're my work friends.
Sure.
Yeah. Like. Yeah. And like we'll talk about life here and there, but like at the end of the day, I still don't know these girls that well.
Right.
You know, like we could talk and be close as much as we want at work, but you really never know. Cause like I'll like hear stuff about one girl from another girl, and I'm just like, dang, like I didn't even know she was like that, or like whatever it is, you know. And like I mean, I'm not here to judge anybody, so it's like it kind of just goes in like one ear and out the other ear for me. Like I don't care to spread anybody's business or like talk bad about anybody, just because I don't want to start drama, and I don't need drama, because I'm just here to make money and go home. And I think the girls are the same way, because I mean I've seen drama pop off, and it doesn't make the work environment good.
Like what?
When there's drama, just girls like talking bad on others, or like trying to like initiate like beef between other girls.
What would be the reason?
Just to mess with their money. Just jealousy, 'cause they're jealous. Envy. Like they don't want a girl to make more money than them, or like they had like a falling out or like something. Like I mean, like I know like girls with like baby daddies, and like there'll be like baby daddy baby mama drama, or like like one customer talked to a girl, and then now he's talking to a different girl, so like that girl doesn't like that, like just
that happens,
petty girl drama or something, you know. And just like little stuff like that. Like I've never seen like a fight happen, I don't think, and I hope it stays that way. Yeah. And like there's also Asian gangbangers like out in OC. Like
what is Asian? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're like right between like Garden Grove and Santa Ana. So one side you got the Hispanics beefing with each other, one side you got the Asians beefing with each other, and then you throw in like the other people like blacks, whites, the other random, but predominantly it's like Hispanic and Asians out there. And so like I mean I've had like rival gangs come in and like press each other, and like the girls would like get in between and like kick them out, and like before like a fight would ensue. Oh wow. Because back in the day I heard like at some cafes, I don't know which one it was, but like I guess like a customer got shot and killed, or shit. Like there were multiple instances of that happening. Yeah. They just catch the op at the coffee shop. They're like, it's up. And then it's just like, you kind of just...
Will you guys have security at the door patting people down?
One of them did. Like the one I used to work at first, they had an armed security, because it was like, there was so much stuff popping back up, like back in the day. But it's tame now, so they like don't need a security anymore. And then so they just have like the parking lot security that like walks around the parking lot and like just watches everything. And then the coffee shop I work at now, they don't have security at all. But they have cameras everywhere, like even out in the parking lot. So if a cop pulls up, like they'll let us know immediately. Yeah. They're like, go put your clothes on, or go hide in the back, or like don't do any dances or whatever. And then like and there's always somebody watching the camera. So it's like you can't really like miss anything, right? Like because she's like watching it like a hawk. you know, like even when she's like doing something, she'll still watch the camera, just her hands just go like this, like her eyes are like glued to that thing.
That's funny.
And so like and then like the customers, like they watch out for us too, like they have our backs. Like I have like a customer, he's a really good friend of mine, like anything pops off, like he's ready to go. Like all I needed to say is like a safe word, and he'll like get up and like start like handling it for me, you know.
So he's in your personal life?
No. Like I'll smoke with him like after work and stuff. And like I'll text him like through Instagram or like stuff, but like he doesn't even have my number. And like every customer that I've given my number out to, I've never texted them back. Or I did, and then I ghosted them. Like, I really, like, I tell my customers, I'm like, you get Riri here at the cafe. Outside of it, you get Maria. Because that's my stage name. So it's like, I feel like I carry on a persona when I walk in there. Yeah. And then I'm myself when I walk out. And I like keeping it that way. And so in terms of that, like, I don't really make bonds with anybody. Because like there's girls where they have like a separate account for their like a work account, you know, where they have like their stage name, they post their schedules, and then they'll use that directly to talk to their customers and milk their customers or whatever, or just like do what they do. But I just do a main account and my phone number, and then I just let people follow me and just be my fan. Like, you are not my friend. Yeah, but I'd be thinking about making just a separate work account just to interact with my customers more. Right. Just so I can milk them. But I don't know.
Well, how would you milk them if you're not willing to do any of these extra things?
Yeah. Because there's some people where they just want to have a good conversation, and just deepening like the connection you have with the customers, they'll be more inclined to like bring you gifts or buy you food. Like yeah, I don't do extra services, but I'll text like some of my customers through Instagram, like when I'm hungry, I'll like, can you bring me food? Or like, can you bring me like whatever I want? And they usually do. Like, they're just really sweet, you know, like they're nice. And like, honestly,
or
like
simps.
Yeah. And the only people that I really like talk back to are people that I feel safe being around. Like, they're not like, I mean, yeah, if I give them the green light to like sleep with me, they probably would, but like as far as that, like they know like the boundaries I hold, and because they respect my boundaries, I can give them that mutual respect in return.
So you've never slept with any of your clients?
There are some good looking ones that I would sleep with. I will not lie to you, because all types of ages come in there. So like there's people like more within my age group that I would sleep with. I would be like, ooh, he kind of fine, let me go sit at that table. But it just doesn't get that far because
they don't push it that far, or you don't let it?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely like me mostly. Like I would, just because like these men get around too. Like they be sleeping with multiple girls.
How many people have you been with?
I haven't been with anybody in the coffee shop, but
just in general.
In general, I've had like one serious relationship. And then like I've had like 2-3 trial runs. And then like I've talked to like countless like people just casually. But like,
so you've been like with like 4 people?
Yeah, I guess like my body count is higher, but at the same time.
No, what is your body count?
10.
Okay.
11, 12, something within that range. Yeah. Okay. Not more than 20. I know that. But yeah, and people think like when I'm in this industry and the work that I post, like they think like I would be like easy, you know? And it's like,
well, define easy.
Easy to fuck. Cause like the amount of men that come in my DMs just to like hook up, they're like, oh, come over, and it's like 8 p.m. at night. Like nobody really texts me like, oh, like I want to take you out on a date. Okay.
So out of these like 10 people that you've slept with, right, how many of these were So one of them was a serious relationship, and the 3 of them were short-term relationship.
Yeah, like a couple weeks, like a month, couple months max. Yeah.
So that's like 4. So you leave 6 people. Were these 6 people just one-night stands?
I'd say it was high school when we were all like horn dogs and just hooking up with random people.
You've slept with this body count. Okay, so but when did your relationship end?
My longest one?
Yeah.
Okay, so it ended at the beginning of this year, January.
Okay, so it's very recent. And how long was it for?
A year and 3 months.
Okay, so you were 19 to 20, and then I'm assuming at some point you turned 21 this year.
Yeah.
And then, so how many after you broke up? How many people have you been with?
I've hooked up with two people.
2 people.
After I got out the relationship.
And those were one-night stands, or they were just people you were seeing?
Sneaky links. I've saw them multiple times, but it was nothing. Like, we weren't trying to like progress in like a relationship or anything.
And where did you meet these people?
Instagram.
So technically speaking,
yeah,
it is that easy. It's just you have to be attracted to them.
Yeah, I was definitely like, after like my breakup, I was like in like my little like kind of like revenge hoe phase. Like I was blasting Future, Drake, and The Weeknd like every day. Like I posted my Apple Music Wrapped, and they're like, "Oh, I know what kind of person you are," because those were my top 3. I'm like, lover girl turned toxic, bro. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you, but yeah, and it's just like, yeah, I could easily like sleep with so many more men.
Sure.
But I just didn't want to like be so like ready available, especially when the men just wants to sleep with me and they have nothing to offer me. Because especially like after like making like the amount of money that I've made and being around the people that I've been around, like I didn't want to settle for less, especially after my last relationship. You know, like I didn't want to settle for less. Like I'm an independent woman. I'm a hustler. Like, I know that, and I know I'm hyper independent, and I know that I would need somebody to make me submit to them, or else it would just be a competition of dominance.
How would somebody get you to submit to them?
Just by being able to take care of me, bro. Like, you either have to like
financially,
not even just financially, just emotionally, like. Like, yeah, physically, emotionally, like, yeah, like I want, like I'm like every other girl. Like, I want flowers, go on nice dates where they plan it or something. Like, going over to a guy's crib like gets boring after a while, especially when your apartment's nicer. Yeah, like I'll skip out, I'll stay here, you know. Like, and it's like, yeah, like these guys look good, but they're just eye candy to me, just like how I'm eye candy to them. Like, they wouldn't think I have much to offer them, or like they could try to milk me too. Like they want a girl to take care of them, you know. They want a trick, and I'm not a trick, you know. Like,
but I mean, it sounds like what you desire is something that in turn wouldn't desire you, though. Yeah,
but I know it's because I'm emotionally unavailable, so it's what I keep attracting. Like, after my last relationship, like, I really, like, had to, like, work on healing. And, like, I don't think I'm to that point where I've been able to, like, open myself back up to feeling loved yet. And so, in terms of that, like, it's a repetition of, like, the men I keep meeting are emotionally unavailable, broke, and remind me of my ex. And I'm just like, well, now that I learned my lesson, now that I know my worth, like, I don't want to settle for less. Like, I don't want to just hit me up. I don't want to be a booty call, you know. Like, I could be, and there were times where I have been just because I wanted to fuck him, but for the most part, like, I'm looking for, like, something more, especially because, like, I feel like my downfall is, like, being in a relationship. Like, every time I've given myself too much when they couldn't give me the same, like, mutual, like, respect or just energy, you know, like when like I love hard, you know, I want to give my everything to a person, you know, like I want to be loyal and just duck away and just let it be all about us or whatever, you know. And like my past relationships, I've been like done wrong, got cheated on, or just through like the whole turmoil, you know. I've dealt with like narcissist people, and like, so it's like the first red flag I see, like I usually just like, oh, you're cut out. And that, maybe I'm not giving men a chance to prove themselves, but at the same time, like I don't think these men want to prove themselves to me either, because I don't think they want to see anything with me. And that's why like I'd rather just not like have like meaningless sex with the person, you know. Because I feel like when I've hooked up with people, I've kind of just felt awkward after. I'm like, yeah, like,
well, there's no emotional connection.
Exactly. I'm just like, what was that really for, you know, like, because it wasn't really pleasure to me if I couldn't connect with the person on an intimate level.
Yeah.
You know, on an emotional level. And that's why I'm just like, I'd rather stay celibate and then like find somebody where I can connect with them like intimately in all like 3 aspects, or like 2 aspects, what it is, like spiritual, mental, physical. Yeah. So 3. And like that's just kind of like how I carry myself too. Like people will see me naked, half naked, just shaking my ass on like Instagram or in person, and they're just like, oh yeah, you're probably easy. And I feel like that's another thing, because I get offended when people think like I would be easy to fuck.
Why would that offend you?
I'm like, do you think I don't have any values, or is it just a projection
of yourself? But that's what equates to that line of work.
Yeah, like
is people, lack of values.
Yeah, people, and that's it. What it is, like I know what I signed up for. Like there's girls in this industry that have boyfriends, and then there's people that are single like me. And then I'm just like, now that I'm in this industry, I'm single. I'm like, damn, you know. And it's like customers ask me all the time. They're like, do you ever think you could be in a relationship working here? Would your boyfriend ever be cool with you working here? And this and that. And I'm like, I've heard it all, you know. And I'm just like, I've been that too. Like when I was in my relationship this past year, like I was working at the coffee shop, but I wasn't doing all the stuff. Like I wasn't doing dances or showing like my body, like my boobs off or whatever for these men. Like I was just keeping it cute, and like, yeah, I would flirt with them, cook up a good conversation with them, but I had respect towards my relationship. And so like I didn't do anything further, even though like doing those can make me better money. And then there's girls that like have boyfriends that are cool with like them working in this industry, or like they kind of like feel uncomfortable, but they let their girl do what they want, you know. And then girls have told me, and they're like, yeah, like my boyfriend knows I work here, and I just tell him straight, like what I do with like in my life is on me. What you do is on you, you know. Like they try not to like dig into each other's like kind of like business life,
sure,
and just keep like their personal selves, you know. And like it works for some, not for others,
right? And
then whatever.
So you do OnlyFans?
I used to, but I don't really go on there anymore.
Why is that?
It was just like too much to keep up with. Just like working on top of like having to like post and then text back messages and this and that. Like it was just like getting too much. And I hate flirting with men that I don't want to flirt with. So
why don't you just get a manager?
Yeah, I mean, I did have one like helping me out
like
for a little bit, but it was just like I didn't even like take pictures. Like I didn't even have content for them to like use.
But why wouldn't you get content?
I was just lazy. Like I was just like, I don't feel like posting up right now.
So you think that like the body shop, just showing up, doing the thing, and just getting out
instead of like having
easier.
to like plan this content and then like push it up and like record and like plan it. Like I'd rather just do it and go. And like after like I was like focused in my coffee shop, like it was like kind of hard for me like focus on other things. Like it definitely like drained me a lot some days more than others. Like some days were like more mentally draining than others and stuff.
Do the other girls who work there also don't have OnlyFans? Is that the reason why they don't do it?
No, some girls have OnlyFans too. Like I feel like a majority of people that work in coffee, they definitely have an OnlyFans too. Like it's good way to make extra money, you know.
Right.
And it just depends on how consistent they are. I know there's other girls that are actually consistent, and then there's me where I just like I just
don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I just really do not want to deal with it anymore. And it was just like it's just so like odd, like just
chatting with men.
Yeah, like, and then like the requests are like, oh, like I want to see your toes, like, but like, and then like I think there was like a guy that wanted me to like send him like the smelliest like pair of heels I had or something. It's just stuff like that. Like, yeah, like in terms, it's good money, but I think about it, I'm just like, I just feel so weirded out by this, you know, like there's people who just say like, fuck it. And like, there's times where I'm like that, but then there's times where I just kind of look at this and I'm like, that's a weird kink to have, you know, like especially like the stuff I've heard and seen. And then just like,
what's the weirdest kink you've ever heard of?
I feel like there's guys that I think it was like a guy that came in and he was like checking out the girls' belly buttons to see who had like a pretty belly button and not so pretty belly button. And I don't know, because the top weirdest story was that story I told you earlier about the dominatrix situation. That was the weirdest one.
So how much did you get paid for that one?
He was offering like $5,000 a session.
For that specific session that you guys did?
Yeah. No. Like the future meetups.
Oh, okay.
Like that one, I think like I got like 30 or $40 tip just to like do that.
To slap him and spit on him.
Yeah. And it ended quick, but like for like the future, like that was just like the little test run. Yeah, to see if we were like serious or not. But like he was like, oh, like if you guys are actually serious about this, like every like session we set up, I'll pay you $5,000 each, and it'll be like an hour session or like 2-hour session.
This guy do for work, you know?
I think like he owned like a company or like his family owned a company or something, but it's just like he had money, so like he would like tell us, he's like, yeah, like I have money, like I want you to do this to me, this and that. And it was crazy because like after I blocked him on my number, he tried to text me on like WhatsApp because like my number's like connected to it. He's like, do you have Cash App or Apple Pay or PayPal? Like I think he was like trying to send me money so I could like unblock him or something. Like he was blowing up my phone like crazy. Like, I
don't understand why not just do the minimum? Or why not? I mean, the one thing you could have done was hire another girl to do the work for you and take the cut.
Yeah, I could. I don't know. It's just I get so weirded out by like these like things that I don't even want to do it anymore. Right. I think that's my thing. Like I'm just like,
you're ready to get out.
Yeah, you know, like some of these girls, they'll have fun with it. Like I've definitely seen girls that are like okay with it. I'm like do you get any like trauma or like some girls be saying it's fun. They love doing it. You know.
Well, that's what you should do. You know, if you know
yeah,
you want something,
only do it if you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like there's people that do it for survival, and they do it because they're passionate. Yeah. You know, I hear both sides, and I've seen both sides.
And next time you come across one of these people who, you know, wants to do something you don't want to do, just go find one of the girls who wants to do it and be like, hey, I'll take 20% commission.
I start my own little dominatrix agency. No, yeah. But yeah, and it was just like, I was down to do it, but he was just texting me too much, to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to like have to constantly text you. Yeah, I'm just like, I just need to cut you off. Yeah, and it was just like the way he would text, it was weird. He's like, do you want to know my deepest, darkest secret? Can you please text me back? Like, answer me, call me back. Like, are you there? Like, it was just like constant, like every like 2 minutes, call me multiple times, text me multiple times. It's like, if I didn't answer, like, I was just like, this is too much, bro. Like, if I have to deal with this before our meeting's set up, I'm gonna just cut you off. And that's what I did, you know, because it's like,
if there's a response, you just go, send me $100 so I respond to you.
Yeah, I tried doing that. He would literally not do that. I'm like, okay, you're done.
Oh,
like,
you said that to him when he said
yeah,
that?
I'm like, you gotta text me. You gotta like cash at me for me to like answer you back at this point. Like, I literally told him straight up, like, you're annoying me, but like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop blowing my fucking phone up. Like, I'm busy. Like, you know, like, I got shit to do. And it's like, you over here, like, what? Who's paying this phone bill? You or me? Like, why are you blowing up my phone right now? You know how much Verizon charges, bro? I'm like, so I just blocked him.
Very interesting life.
Oh.
All right, final question. Mm-hmm. Is the green bubble a red flag?
What is a green bubble?
You know when you text somebody and they text you back and there's a green bubble instead of the blue bubble. So if somebody has an Android, is that a flag? Would you not date someone? Because of their phone?
I used to think like that. But now being in the coffee shop, some of these guys don't have iPhones. They'd rather stick with Samsung. And I'm just like, as long as you got money, I'm not going to judge you what phone you get. You know, like, a phone's a phone. You need to communicate with people.
Yeah.
You know? But, I mean, I guess you'd have to send me cash on Zelle because you can't use Apple Pay. I mean, that's my only worry. Hey, if you don't got Apple Pay, I got Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, Cash App. Like, so having an iPhone isn't the end of the world. Green bubble is only a red flag if I got blocked. Making sure I didn't get blocked. But no, I don't really judge people.
Well, good for you. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Thanks for watching.